Hello out there, all you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear listening into another Gamer's Thoughts discussion. And we're going to be talking about two things today, and that's going to be Project Q becoming PlayStation Portal and Sonic Superstars and its online mode. Now, I'm just going to do Sonic Superstars first because that is a very short thing, very quick to be done and get out the way. So, everybody's recently been harping on Super Mario Wonder for not having an online co-op mode to play through the levels and platform and all of that. Sonic Superstars was announced to have online functionality, but it's not what people thought. It's actually a battle mode that lets you play with up to 8 other people, I believe, online in a very sectioned off small area. You're not doing the same type of precise platforming and stuff that you would need to do potentially playing in the co-op mode. The co-op mode, 4-player co-op, is just local, just like Super Mario Wonder. So as I read around and saw people talking about Nintendo dropped the ball with Super Mario Wonder, I haven't seen anyone say this about Sonic Superstars. And I kind of wonder, is it because people are going with the assumption without actually looking into it online, like I was, and I'll admit that Sonic Superstars was just going to allow you to play online and have co-op? So that they don't know it's just an online battle mode, it's not the full game having co-op. Now, I don't know if they're working on that or not, but at current, that's not how it's going to launch. And that's one of those things I sat down and looked at. Because these games are releasing around the same time, and whether people understand it or not, they kind of have similar concepts. It's not exactly one-to-one, but it's very similar. So, knowing that these two characters are 2D platforming titans, or have been, and they're both coming out with a 2D platformer around the same time, and the feature isn't in one, or it's actually not in both, but only one of them catches the heat for it, why? That's my question, because maybe Sega figured out the same thing Nintendo did. There's too many potential chances for lag ruining the experience for people playing online. It's just too many potential chances for it. And unless you can get your pixel perfect jumps and platforming techniques to work in an online environment without potentially dropping something or losing inputs or anything, it's not likely to happen right away. Maybe they are working on it. Who's to say that they didn't try testing the games to put this in there? I just don't get why one catches all of the backlash for it and the other doesn't. I mean, maybe if I were to make an argument for why people have this stance, could be that because Mario is a more prestigious series, so people expect more out of it, and Sonic has multiple times fallen by the wayside. If that's the case, I do understand. I still think it's, being short-sighted. But, I mean, I don't have any personal issue with that people are agitated. I'm just curious as to why. If you're agitated at one for it, then you should be agitated at the other, is my thought process. It shouldn't be, oh, well, you get a pass because we know you screw up, so we're not going to worry about it. I mean, I wouldn't treat it that way. So, that was all it really was. That was all I really wanted to talk about with that, because it's not really a big news issue. It's just kind of something that was a little drop in the water. But the bigger news thing was Sony fully giving information out on the PlayStation Portal. which is now the new PSP. And I can understand why there are upset people who think that it's a useless device. I can see why. I'm not going to knock anybody that gets it. I did make jokes about people having issue with the Wii U and the gamepad being a total $100 cost onto the development of the machine. And this device is basically just a portable screen that hooks to your PlayStation through the internet for $200. That's it. It's a $200 device that hooks to your PlayStation 5 online, not even directly connecting to the machine. So if you have spotty internet, there are going to be some issues with lag and such. And it doesn't have an OLED screen, it has an LCD screen. So there's that to be considered. But there's already devices that allow for you to do this. The same thing. For cheaper. And you can use Bluetooth headsets with those things and not have to be forced to use Sony's proprietary headset, which is the same price as the device. So if you want to get the full experience of this thing, you have to pay a total of $900. And I think there's another, you can use wired headphones and stuff like that, but not very many people are really going to be interested in using wired headphones for something like this, especially if they got to move around. So it could be a little irritating. Now, if they're stationary and they're planning to be stationary, yeah, not so big of a deal. It is. I'm sorry. To me, it's still an ugly device. I know people are trying to say, "Oh no, it's not." No, it is ugly. But it looks like you just took a tablet and stuck two sides of the DualSense controller on it. It's ugly to me. Again, I'm not knocking that the device exists. I just think it's a missed opportunity when you have PlayStation, you have PS Now, or whatever your PSN services are allowing for now, where you have streaming options. And this doesn't stream from the cloud to the device, which would open up a market for a bunch of people. I mean, yeah, streaming's not the best thing, but it would have opened up a market to tons of people. And I remember saying that if they didn't do this, this is a stupid move. It's a great idea to be able to stream from your PS5 to the device, but it would have been a better idea to be able to, just directly stream from the cloud, especially if you end up playing games that are cloud streamed to your PS5 anyway. Now you're potentially doubling up the lag. You're potentially doubling up the lag because you're streaming to the PS5 and then streaming from the PS5 to the portal. It's just nonsensical. Now, I could understand that maybe they didn't want to make it a full-on gaming device, like a full console portable PS5 itself. I get that. I understand that wholeheartedly, but you have a streaming service. Why not make this device tap into that streaming service? And I get the thought process that by the time that they actually get around to doing that, it's going to be too late. People are going to be pissed off to the point where it's like, if they didn't buy it, they're not even going to worry about using it. They'll just worry about playing the games when they get home, or they'll use whatever other devices that they have that will allow them to do the same thing that this doesn't. Now, and it requires your PS5 to be on constantly, which a lot of people leave their PS5s in rest mode, so it's probably not the biggest of issues. But for those who do turn off their PS5s and they forget to turn it on before they leave, they're going to be pissed off because they can't cold wake their devices with it. Which, I mean, again, that's the thing. You can't cold wake it. So that's something to be considered. And because the device and the PS5 weren't made with each other in mind, the only way it's viable for them to work together is through an online connection. That, and there's no Bluetooth in it. And yeah, some people will say it was a cost-saving measure for Sony, but when you think about the fact that they're charging as much as they are for basically a portable screen, not really. Not really. It's a portable screen with some controllers attached to it. That's it. That's it. I mean, yeah, maybe they got their stuff working with low latency, but that still doesn't work for everyone. And again, missed opportunity to just have a little bit of information be stored on the device that would allow you to connect directly to their servers and stream from their servers, and then it just back up the save information to your account, which would then transfer over to your PS5. I mean, that would make more sense. That makes more sense to me. And I get the feeling that there are going to be some people out there that get this thing and just mod it to use with other online services. I have no doubt that that's going to happen. People are going to get them just to mod them to use for other services. There are going to be people who get this to mod it to be able to use it with xCloud. I can tell you that right now. I know that for a fact. Because Microsoft allows for that to be done. So it's like a series of missed opportunities. It doesn't. I'm very sure that whatever's going on that little screen is also happening on your PS5. I'm very certain of that. I don't see why that would be necessary. It should be able to allow you to have off-TV dual screen at the very least. So for a game that would be split screen co-op, you have this device, one person can play with that and the other person can play on the TV. That would be cool. But I'm highly doubting they programmed it that way. And it's just, I feel like it was a waste of money for Sony to do it. They saw that the Switch was taking off, and this is their way of emulating what the Switch does without making a full-scale device. But this is like a half measure for that. It's not going to get you the same thing, because when you say you can play the Nintendo Switch anywhere, you can play it anywhere. Literally anywhere you take it with you. You can turn it on, boot it up, and play a game. You can't say that for this device if you're in an area where you can't get a stable online connection, or it doesn't connect well with your phone's hotspot. There are a number of factors that you have to consider when you think about purchasing this. Versus, let's just say you're going with the bare minimum for, you have the digital only PS5 and then you buy this, that's $600. The baseline Nintendo Switch, which is still $300, does what this machine would basically be trying to simulate. Because you can play your Nintendo Switch on your TV in the dock. You can undock it and play it on the go. This device is just basically saying, hey, we're going to skip all the other work of making this machine work on its own and tie it to your PSN account and your PlayStation 5. And then you'll stream from your PS5. So, I mean, the concept isn't bad, but it's like late. It's like late to the game. Plus, if I remember correctly, PSP and, or at the very least, PS Vita did the same thing. So it's like, in the PS Vita was a whole console to itself that had its own games, but you could still play your PS4 stuff and PS3. So to me, it feels like it feels pointless because it ultimately serves no purpose but remote play. And again, I mean, remote play is available in a multitude of things. Remote play is available with a lot of different devices, and there's stuff that you can get for free that would allow you to remote play from your PS5 for devices you already own. So this is a proprietary take on that may have less latency, but we don't know for sure. And if you have a good enough setup and you know what you're doing with your wireless network and your packets and stuff, you could probably outperform this thing anyway, or at the very least match it if it has a proprietary way of streaming, which I doubt. Like right now, if I take the time to set it up properly, I could remote play from my PC to my phone and to my laptop, which there's going to be some issues depending on what game I'm playing. But if I took the time to do like a complete wireless survey and potentially set up preferences for my devices, which I had actually done at one point and I've been too lazy to do as of late, you can really get a very good stable wireless connection. And even without remote play on PC, I can access my files with my laptop that are on my main PC and access saves and stuff like that on my laptop if I really want to. That's not something this device can do. And I'll be frank, my laptop was cheaper than what this device is. So, yeah. And it's a more versatile machine. It has a lot of options that this thing doesn't. And that's just me using my own anecdotal evidence against this. Now, in practice and use, we'll have to see. But I can understand where there's a lot of people that look at this device and it's like, yes, Sony, really? What were you thinking here? Because right now, if I really wanted to, I could stream PlayStation games to my laptop. All I'd have to do is set up an account. I can do that. If I really, really, really wanted to, I could stream PlayStation games to my laptop. And hey, if I wanted my laptop with a big screen, I could plug it into a TV or a monitor and get nearly the same experience. That's where they dropped the ball. If they would have at least done the streaming thing directly to the device and not remote play, not just remote play, they'd easily sell millions of this thing. Easily sell millions. Because this would be your $200 gateway into Sony's network. For those who want the complete and only digital experience, and they don't want to buy the physical hardware, they don't want to buy the console, that would have been your easiest way to sell millions of units of this thing. Millions. $200? a $200 device, and then all I have to pay is their quarterly service fee for streaming, and then I have access to PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, and PS5 games? Are you out your fucking mind, Sony? You could have used this to make residual money off of, and you didn't think that far. And I swear I said this before all the details of this thing were revealed, when we saw some of the concept pictures of it. The only other thing I added on is that I think it should have been a handheld console for the PS5 that did games in 1080p. It's not like you don't play PS5 games in 1080p anyway. But they didn't do that. Like, and granted, I understand maybe they didn't want to do all the hardware. Cool. But being able to stream to this, I still don't know why they didn't do that. If it was remote play from the system, it's the same thing. No, it's not. It is not the same thing. Because one is they beam directly to the device, the other is jury rigging. It's the roundabout way of making it work. Just like if somebody really wanted to play Street Fighter 6 on their Xbox One currently, there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it. Or there was a way when Rainwave was around. I don't think. I know Rainwave got absorbed. And I don't think that I don't think that app still works the same way. But there still are other ways to jury rig to be able to play Street Fighter 6 on your Xbox One. It takes a lot more work to do, especially since I think you have to have your system modded, but you can still do it. But that's essentially what this is jury rigging. If you're trying to just go ahead and stream some PS1 games, you have to have a PS5 and have it streamed to the PS5. It didn't stream to the portal. It's counterproductive. And again, if you don't have the best of internet connections, now you've added an extra layer of lag for just that simple thing. This is going to sell pretty okay. It's not going to do the numbers that it could have done. And then I know there are going to be some people who go into the store not knowing what this is, but think it's a portable PS5. They're going to pick it up, take it home, and realize they can't fucking use it. And then be mad. There are going to be a lot of return orders on this. I can tell you that right now. There are going to be a lot of return orders on this. But we'll have to see. So, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with that discussion. If anybody else has anything that they'd like to add, please do. I am very interested in hearing what people have to say. Otherwise, thank you guys very much for listening, and keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me. And until the next time, enjoy your games. Peace out, everybody.